Do you know that Stack Overflow developer survey of this year suggests 93.87% of developers use Git for version controlling of their project, whereas GitHub is used widely in the community for personal and professional usage. Still, people get confused between the two. I am Rishika Gupta, currently working as a software engineer at LinkedIn, and in this video, I am going to talk about what is Git, what is GitHub, and the difference between the two. So if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe us and give this video a like. Also, to stay updated with latest technologies and learn them from industry leading experts, do check out Scalar's event page. Link is there in the description box. So let's get started with the first topic, what is Git? So Git is a free open source version controlling system and most widely used of its own kind. Here very important keyword to note are version controlling system. Now what does that mean? A version control system or a source control system are used to track the history and the different kind of versions that you have pushed on the project to maintain them. Now this can be done using special kind of databases to store the difference of the file that you have done in the different version of your projects. So let's say if you have made any mistake in the latest version of your project, then using the version control system, you can go back in the history, look at all the file changes that you have made for particular versions and fix your code. Now this becomes very essential when you work on projects where other developers are also contributing to. The next question arises, why version control system becomes so important these days? So let's take an example. When you are working in a corporate world, mostly you work on projects where other teams and developers are also contributing. And sometimes it also happens that you are managing multiple features and functionalities within the same project. Now this can be very easily done using the version control system. You can create multiple branches from your project and handle them separately. Now let's talk more about Git. Git is a distributed version control system which brings a complete copy of the repository to each team member. Now it provides the flexibility and fasten up the development cycle process. Now let's see how we can download Git to our systems. So now I have opened Visual Studio Code and here we are going to see how we are going to use different Git commands. But before that, first we have to download Git for the system. So if you are using Windows, you can download Git from this website. This is the official Git website for Windows. If you are using Mac, then you can use sourceforge.net website to download Git for Mac. And if you are using Linux, then you can directly use command prompt and use the command sudo apt-get install git. Now after that, once you have downloaded Git, you have to configure it for the system. For that, you are going to set some properties like email address and username. Now once you have downloaded Git for the system, we have to configure different properties like username and email address. There are some commands for that. Now let's try them. So I'm going to open terminal here itself and I'm going to write git config and then we can mention the property we want to set. So I'm using git config global as these are global variables and then the property name. So here the property name is user.name. So using this property, we can set the username for our Git. Hit enter and here as we can see the username property is set. Similarly, we can set the email address as well. So I'm going to write the same command with different property. So global and then user.email. Here you can mention the email address that you want to set. So now both the username and email address is set for your Git. Now we can start with our project. So before that, let's see few of the Linux command which I am going to use in this video very frequently. The first command is the cd command. The cd command represents change directory. Using this command, you can change the directory or the path where you are right now. For example, if I want to go back from my current directory, I can use cd --. This is the shortcut. Now if I want to go back again to the directory where I was, I can simply write cd and desktop. So here if you see the directory is changed to desktop now. So we can give any path to the cd as an argument and at that part our directory will be changed. The second command that we are going to see is the ls command. Using the ls command, we can list the files and directories in a particular folder. So let's try this. If I type ls here, I can see all the files which are available to this particular path. The next command that we are going to see is the mkdir command. Mkdir represents make directory. So we can create new folders using that directory. For example, if I write mkdir corresponding to the folder name, let's say it's hello. So in the same directory where I am going to create a new directory with the name hello. Let's try this if the directory is created or not. We can again type ls, and here if you see, we have a new folder with the name hello. So mkdir is to make a new directory. So the next command is remove directory, for which the command name is rmdir. So let's try to remove the directory that we have just created. You can just mention the name of the directory or the reference path. So I am going to write hello here, and let's see if the directory is deleted or not. Let's again try ls, and here if you see, we don't have the hello directory. The last command that we are going to see is the touch command. Using touch command, you can create new files. For example, if I want to create a file, let's say test.cpp, you can also give the extension of the file here. So I am creating a C++ file, so I am writing test.cpp. And let's try ls. If you see, a new file is created with the name test, and the extension is also C++. Now let's just remove this with the rm command. Rm command is to remove the files that we have created. So I am going to write test.cpp, and let's remove this. And the last very important command is the diff command. Diff command is used to check the difference between two files. So let's say if you have created two files, and if you want to check the difference between the two files character wise, then you can use this command. Now let's see how to use Git to manage our project. So first I am going to create a Git repository. So let me just first clear out this terminal and create a new directory with the mkdir command. So I am writing project1 as the name and open it in Visual Studio. So now as you can see, we have created a new folder with the name project1. Now let's see how we can make it as a Git repository. A Git repository contains a collection of files to track and see the history of all the changes that you have made in this project. Here I have already created a simple HTML file, or you can create a new one as well using the touch command. So I am using touch and index.html. So you can name it anything. I am naming it as index.html. Now if you see, a new file is created. So now if you check the Git status of our repository, currently we don't have any status. Because we haven't initialized our repository yet. So to initialize your repo, you can use the command git init. Init is for initialization. So now as you can see, initialized empty Git repository. So now our repository is initialized. Now if you see this Git status is basically to track what is happening in your repo. Now it is written that we have created a new file with the name index.html. So we are just tracking all the changes that is happening in our current repository. So with the git init, we have created this folder as a Git repo, and then in the further video we are going to check how we are going to track this repository. So there are a lot of commands which are related to Git. So if you are unable to remember them, you can simply use git help. So just type git and -- help. All the commands will be available to you. For example, git clone is used to clone a repository, which is if a repository is already deployed somewhere, you can make a copy of that repository and store it locally. And the git init we have already used. Now there are some other commands as well where we can track our current changes. For example, git add is used to add all the change file in your repo. For example, git commit is used to record the changes in the repository with a specific message. Now let's see how all these commands works. So I am going to type something here. I am going to use, let's say, HTML tag first, as this is a HTML document, and inside this I am going to write body tag. In body we can define some paragraph, and let's say I am writing this is my first code. Now these are some changes I have done. Now save this file and check the git status. Now after adding your file, you can save your changes, but before that let's just see the status of our Git repo. So I am again going to type git status, and here if you see, now this file is no more untracked. We have this file tracked as a new file with the same name. Now to commit those changes, if you are sure that your changes are correct, you can save it on the repository history using the git commit command. Now in the git commit, you can also add a message using the -m argument. So here make sure you write a correct commit message, because this message will help you to look back in the history effectively. So here I am writing, this is my first commit. Hit enter, and now as you can see, we have all these log which is saying that we have committed the new file and all the changes that has been made till now. So after that, if you want to see your git history, you can also see that using the git log command. So just type git log, and here if you can see, I have the author information and the modified time as well. Now this helps a lot when you are handling a project where there are a lot of features and requests coming in and multiple developers are working at the project at the same time. So here if you see, we have all the information which is required to track your git history. For example, who is making that changes? So I have the author information and the last modified time here as well. Now it becomes very important to have these kind of information when you are working on a project where there are a lot of features and functionalities coming in at the same time. The next command that we are going to learn about is how to create a new branch from the current branch. For that, my command is git checkout with the parameter of -b. After that, you can give the name of the new branch that you want to create. So let's say I am giving the branch name as hello. Just hit enter and a new branch is created now. To check on which branch you are currently in, you can use the command git branch, and it will showcase you all the branches which are available to your local system. Here currently we have two branches with the name main and hello. And to switch between different branches, you can again use the same checkout command but without -b parameter. So let's say if I want to switch to the main branch, I can simply write git checkout main. Now let's type git branch again to check on which branch we are currently in. So here currently we are on the main branch. It can be symbolized by this green color. After that, to make a change in your branch, you can just change the file and hit git add or git commit. So I am just going to change my newly created branch. So git checkout hello. After that, I am going to change this index file and I am creating another paragraph here. So let's say this is second paragraph. After that, you can just save this file, hit git add, and git add, if you add with a dot parameter, it will add all the change file. So now just check the status of your git history, and here you have the modified file as index.html. After that, I am doing a commit with a commit message of this is my second commit. Press enter and the commit is done. Now if I switch back to my main branch and make a difference with the current branch, I can see all the difference in the files. So just do a git diff and with the branch name. So the branch name was hello. As you can see here, I can see the difference. Now this command is very essential, especially when you want to check the difference between two different branches of same repository. Now let's see how we can manage two different diverging branches. For that, I am checking back to the newly created branch which is hello. So I am going to type git checkout with the branch name hello. So now as you can see, the file has already changed. So we are on the new branch, and let's try the command git merge. So git merge with main, and here you can see the status as already up to date, which represent we do not have any conflict between the two branches. But let's try to change our main branch and then try to merge it. So git checkout main, and then I am going to update this file. So let's just remove this code, and instead of that we can add another tag. So instead of paragraph, I am going to add heading tag here, and let's just change the closing bracket also. Save this file and add it with a commit. So git add and git commit with a message. I am going to type a message heading change and just hit enter. After that, you can check out to your hello branch and let's try to merge it with the master. So here, as you can see, we have the code highlighting with the color green and blue. That is because the blue color is coming from our main branch and the code highlighted with the green color is from our current branch. And there is a conflict between the two branches and the Git wasn't able to merge the branches properly. So we have to do it manually. So what I am going to do, I am just going to remove these lines and edit the file. The process will be similar. We have to do git add and git commit. Now I want to make all these three lines available in my final output. So let's just add git add and then git commit. Here we can write this is my third commit. So the command line is saying that we cannot do a partial commit during a merge because I missed to add the -m argument with the commit. So let's just add it git commit -m and the message. Press enter. So now our third commit is done. Now let's again try to git merge with master. So I'm writing git merge master, and as you can see the merge is successful now. We do not have any conflict. Now we have talked a lot about Git and how to manage our project using it. Next we are going to learn about GitHub. So GitHub is a web-based interface which uses Git for its version controlling, and it provides an interface to store, track and collaborate on different software projects. Simply speaking, you can say that GitHub provides the interface to visualize what is happening in your Git history. For example, to see the difference between two versions of a project, you can use it and see the difference. To use GitHub, you can go to the official website, which is github.com. So you can search it on Google and the first link will be github.com itself. Now you can sign up or create a free account. I already have an account, so I am going to sign in here. So after signing in, you are going to see a UI like this. Here we have a lot of elements. Like in the left panel, you can see all your repositories. And then in the right side, you can see all the latest changes in the repository that you are following, or maybe the repository that you have created. Now in the navbar, we have a lot of options like pull request, issues, code spaces, marketplace and explore. So you can use GitHub to explore other projects as well which are not created by you or maybe which are not owned by you. So you can use the search bar and maybe search topics like machine learning. You can use search bar for that. Here you can type keywords like machine learning and press enter. As you can see, we have a lot of results and all the results are categorized into these categories. Here we have repositories, codes, commits, issue and a lot more categories. So here you can find a lot of repositories which are interesting to you and start contributing into it. Now let's see how to add repository on your GitHub. So for that you can click on this plus icon and here you can see a lot of options are here. You can import any existing repository, you can create a new code space, and in the first option we have the option to create a new repo. So I'm clicking that, and after that you can fill all this description. It's a form using which you can create a new repo for yourself. Here the name should be unique in your profile. So I'm going to write hello, and in the description it is optional, but it's a good practice to add a description with your Git repositories. So I'm going to write this is my first repo. Here you can also control whether you want to add your repo as a public repo or a private repo. After that, there is an option to add a README file. In the README file, you can add the description of your repo and how someone else can contribute into your repository. So for now, we are skipping this part and just click on create repo. So now as you can see, we have quick setup and all the details we can use to set up our new repository. The first option is we can create a new repo on the command line tool. But here, as we have already created our new repo with the UI, we don't need to follow these steps. The second option is push an existing repo from the command line. So as we have already created a local repository on our system, we can push that repo to this remote. For that, we are going to use this command. I am going to copy paste it in my terminal. After the git remote add command, the next command is git branch. This command is used to rename your existing branch. So let's just copy paste it, and now your branch name is renamed to main. Now to push this local branch into your remote, you can just type git push -u origin with the branch name. And as our branch name is switched to main now, so I am typing main here. As you can see here, the branch is pushed to remote server. Now here's a link as well of our remote repo. I can just follow this link and open it on Chrome. So now our main branch is set, and here we can create pull request now. So for that, I am going to create a new branch. I am going to use the git checkout command with the parameter -b, and let's create our second branch. So let's name it something else. And let's now add a commit in this. So here I am going to remove this line of heading tag. Save this file, git add and commit. This is a test commit. After that, you can push this branch to your remote as well. So again I am using the same command of git origin, but here the branch name is different now. The branch name is this. So now let's try to push this branch on our remote server. So for that, I am going to use the command git push -u origin with the branch name as the newly created branch. Press enter, and here as you can see, our new branch is created. You can follow the link again, and as you can see, the link is a pull request. Now here on the UI, I have the option to compare and create a pull request. If you go little down, we can see the difference in the file as well. And in the PR description, we can add the description and the title. So let's give the title. This is test PR. So in the description, you can add the description for this PR. For now, I am just adding hey there. Now create pull request. So the PR has to be approved by the reviewers in idle scenarios. But in our case, as we haven't added any kind of rule for the PR protection, hence we get this option of merge pull request. So for now, I am just merging my pull request, but otherwise you can add your rules here as well. Just click on add rules, and here you can see a lot of options to protect your branch. As you can see, we can add this option require a pull request before merging, or maybe other options that without a description, a pull request cannot be merged. So as you can see, we have a many options here to protect our branches. For example, you can add a rule that without a description, your branch cannot be merged, or maybe you can also signify how many reviewers' approval are required before merging your branch. Now let's go back, and for now, let's confirm this merge. So now our merge is successful, and to now pull your remote changes to your local, you can use the git pull command. So I am just typing git pull here, and let's see what happens. So your branch says that it's already updated because we are in the branch which has created that pull request. Now let's go back to our master branch or the first branch that we created. For that, we can also check our branches as well. So I'm just typing git branch and then git checkout master. Here we have named our main branch as main instead of master. So just check out your main branch and now use git pull. So now as you can see, it says that we have one deletion in the file index.html, and your branch is updated as well because we deleted the header and here we do not have the header tag now. I know in this video we covered a lot of command related to Git and Linux. So to simplify things for you, you can use this GitHub cheat sheet. Here you can see we have a lot of commands already written. For example, for branches we have git branch, git switch, merge, checkout, etc. And then to synchronize your changes, we have commands like fetch, merge, push, pull, and all these stuff that we have seen already in this video with proper description. And if you go little down, we have a glossary section where all the basic terminologies related to Git and GitHub are mentioned very appropriately. And this cheat sheet is very beginner friendly and hosted on GitHub official website. So you can definitely check out this cheat sheet. After that, let's discuss about GitHub profiling as well. So these days, apart from your resume, cover letter, LinkedIn profile, your GitHub profile is also very important and it has to be maintained properly. So you can create your GitHub profile something like this, where you can mention your tech stack, your expertise and other type of stuff related to you. I have a about me section with a brief introduction about me, a fun fact, etc. You can also connect all your social profile links here, and this profile is very easy to create. You can use HTML like languages, and we have already discussed about HTML in our previous video. I will make sure to add the link on the top of this video. So as you can see, we have headings, links, icons, etc. Whatever you want to add here using HTML like language, you can add it. So that's how you can create your GitHub profile very appropriately, and you can mention everything that you want to showcase to your recruiters. Also, GitHub is a very famous place to start open source with. So what you can do, click on explore, and here you can see a lot of repository on which you can contribute to. There are categories like topics, trending, collection, events, etc. So based on your interest, you can find the open source project in which you can contribute to. Now let's see some of the trending requests today. So when you click on trending, you will get a list of all the projects which are trending today. Now you can filter them based on languages or maybe date range. Let's see the first project. Here if you see, we have issues, existing pull request and discussion happening around the project. You can create a pull request to maybe solve some existing issue, or if you are facing any issue by yourself, then you can raise a issue as well to the owner of this repository. So that's it for today's video. I hope you find it useful. Just to give a brief summary what we discussed today, we learnt about Git and GitHub and the difference between the two. Git is a version controlling system, whereas GitHub is a website where you can host your repositories remotely. Also, if you want to be a part of open source contribution community, GitHub is a very good place to start with. You can explore different types of projects which are hosted on GitHub based on your interest. And if you find them interesting enough, you can create pull requests and be a part of the community. So all the best for your open source contribution journey. But before that, make sure you are confident enough with your Git commands. For that, you can practice a lot of things, and you can even use the cheat sheet which I shared in the video itself. You can create projects in different areas of development like web development, Android development, in different languages and tech stack. For example, Java, Python, Node.js, etc. So you can create college projects, and make sure if you are creating projects, then you are also showcasing them on your GitHub profile and your resume. It will help you to land good job opportunities. So I hope you like this video. If you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. We are happy to answer all your queries. See you in the next video. Till then, take care.